Swing it, boys, swing for the fence. Shove it, boys, make 'em miss. Some big league chew and a baseball souvenir. Come on, sing with me now. The Joe is home, sweet home. It's roll, tide, roll. The Joe is home, that's right. Home, sweet home. Hey, look, is that Roll Tide Willie over there? Blitz, Bama, Blitz.
And we are live. It's the Weekly Joe podcast. Here we are, SEC Tournament Preview Edition. Paul Graham here, your host. I'm here tonight with the Four Horsemen. We have Roger Myers from the Tuscaloosa office, just up from the beach. I think probably just arrived a little while ago, I expect. Drew Champlin, been traveling a little bit this week as well. We got Meghan Dennis from Conway, South Carolina, home of the Chanticleers, who got knocked out in Montgomery today. Tough day for them. Day for them.
Nice.
They got Raging Cajun, and so they're done in the Sun Belt tournament. Probably looking now at a 2 or 3 somewhere. I would assume. I don't think a Conway regional is in the works this year. Do you?
No, doesn't look likely. I just really hope the prediction that had them coming to Tuscaloosa doesn't really work out.
That's right. Yeah, no doubt. Not a team you want to see in the postseason with some of the arms they could throw at you, but they took it on the chin today in a kind of a shootout. I think it ended up like an 11-10 game. So they're done. Alabama baseball is done with the regular season. We are in SEC tournament week. We're recording this game. Well, we're recording probably 20 minutes before the start of the final game of the Wednesday night session, the Auburn LSU series. Things you've seen so far in the SEC tournament as the first couple of days. Any major surprises for you, Roger?
Yeah, already set a home run record for the tournament.
Yeah.
In whatever they've played, 6 games or 7 games, this ball's flying.
Yeah. What do you attribute that to? Anything thoughts on that?
Juiced ball.
Juiced ball. Okay.
I mean, I really don't. I don't know. Because, we've been to a lot of tournaments there, and we've not seen a ton of home runs.
Mm-hmm.
Not like this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Arkansas had 3 well over 400 feet today.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, they said earlier it was like the most amount of home runs since like 93.
Wow.
I may have that wrong, but I think that's what they said.
Clown bat. So. Yeah, clown bat era, even, man. So, Drew, your thoughts on that? Warming up a little bit?
Yeah, I'm hoping Eric Hines can get him one about 480 over the center field speaker tomorrow. I haven't had a chance. I followed it, but Marriott's in these Atlanta hotels that I stay at don't have, or the one I stayed at last night didn't have SEC Network on it. So I've listened to some on the radio. Obviously surprised with Missouri beating Ole Miss in the first game, and LSU upset Oklahoma last night. But I think some people thought LSU probably could win that. I was not one of them, unfortunately. And but like today, so far, right before this LSU Auburn game, it seems to be going as according to schedule, with the better seeded teams winning.
Yes, definitely the short pitching turnaround for the teams that had to go on Tuesday. Then you got to double back and do it again, and maybe you got someone from the weekend ready to go, but they're not going on their regular rest. So a little tough adjustment for them. Not to mention a lot of these teams are depleted and probably ready to mail it in. Honestly, thoughts of so we haven't seen the top 4. We haven't seen Auburn, who we'll see here momentarily, and Auburn was essentially top 4 all year, basically. Thoughts as this thing is shaping up, if you any of these teams you've seen so far today that you think could make a 4-day run through this thing?
No.
Okay. All right. I got one. I kind of think in Arkansas. Thoughts on them?
Yeah.
That would be my only one, but they're going to run out of pitching. Before they could do that.
Right. Florida, Drew?
Possibly. They did throw Aiden King today, so I'm guessing we'll see Liam Peterson tomorrow versus Faye. Is that what we're looking like?
Yeah.
I expect.
Yeah.
So the no-hitter rematch. So that'll be fun. I would say Florida, but they got to go through Alabama. So, they're a pretty good team. League records were the same. We swept them in week 2 and got our season turned around there, and it should be a good matchup tomorrow night, Thursday night around 6:30 ish, 7 ish.
Yeah. Megan, you like the format? I mean, as you know, we've gone to the single elimination with everyone there. You like it better? It's perhaps gives the teams that did what they were supposed to do during the season a decided advantage while still reserving some opportunity for those on the lower end. You like the layout and the way you kind of get a break in the middle at times
I like it for us this year
this
alone.
year.
In general, as like an SEC baseball fan, I hate this formatting. It kind of makes it to an extent where, and I guess it was going this way before we went to the 16 team format, but it kind of makes it feel like the SEC tournament's just it's for what sort of thing.
Right,
Um,
right.
it used to be that we had teams fighting to not be the two sitting at home, and it made it kind of seem like it was worth more at the end.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't know, like it does kind of set up for those top 4 seeds too, unless something weird happens, to probably be the ones playing on the last few days. As someone who just enjoys watching baseball, I don't know, I don't love it as much.
Yeah, Roger, your thoughts? I mean, it's identical to the basketball tournament with the exception on tomorrow there's only 2 games. Friday, there's only 2 games. And
Right.
basketball, you would just stacked all 4 of those and gone on in the weekend. I mean, you think it does kind of dampen the mood or dampen the significance of it?
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, like Megan said, if it sets Alabama up to only need to use 3 starting pitchers
Yeah, right.
to reach, then that's good. And then, our 3 bullpen arms that we spoke up. I mean, that helps. I mean, Alabama would have a tough time going 5, 6 games or
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah. We'd have a tough time going 4.
5 or
Yeah.
6 days, whatever it is.
I think we'd have a hard time going 4, honestly, don't you?
Right. Yeah, that's true. And I doubling back on something Drew said earlier about Atlanta. It's incredible how many SEC cities, hotels do not have the SEC network. And I found that out through travel
Yeah.
last few years, and it's like, I can watch on my iPad or by pulling my cable from home or whatever. I mean, my app from home, but majority of them do not have the SEC network.
Mm-hmm. And allegedly the reason for making these super is getting more TV market. That's why.
Right.
Well, the Big Ten won at Rutgers. Maybe you get the TV, the New York market. I mean, it doesn't work that way when you get into towns, some of these larger cities, and
right.
People got more to worry about and more to watch. As the thing plays out, again, where there are going to be 8 teams left after this last game. Of the 8 remaining, who's got the most to play for, Drew, in your opinion, through the rest of the weekend, through the final 3 rounds of this thing? Whether it be, hey, I'm trying to get a regional, I'm trying to keep a national seed, I'm trying to avoid, who do you see of those 8 with the most to play for?
I think what we're seeing is probably, assuming Auburn wins tonight, I would think, teams are trying to either get a regional, which I don't know if Arkansas is a regional. I can't remember what their SEC record is. I don't know if they're a regional host or not. They're going to be a tough.
17, 13.
Okay.
13.
Oh yeah, I think their RPI was kind of
RPI
low,
was
but
a little bit, yeah.
So you got Arkansas trying to get a couple more wins to get a regional host. You got like Alabama and Florida trying to solidify top 8 seed, I think.
Right.
So that's kind of 2 teams.
Who does UGA play tomorrow?
State.
Mississippi State.
Yeah.
State. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Mississippi State, see, that's kind of what, Georgia. Georgia's RPI is like around 16 or 17, but I don't see any way they're not below like the 2 or 3 overall national seeds with that SEC record they had, especially winning 5 tough road series. So yeah, I look at Alabama most of all. We're probably in some. I think what D1 had us as the 6 overall seed
today. Yeah, 6 today.
Which today.
Never thought we'd be talking about this 15 or 10 weeks ago, but I think we're probably playing to try to solidify being a top 8. Now, if we lose to Florida, I don't think we'd fall any lower than like 10th, but we may not even fall out of the top 8. So it's going to be I think it's good. It's going to be a nice, relaxing, fun atmosphere. I mean, we know what we are. I mean, we're a regional
Right.
host. That's a reward for a very good regular season. And I don't have nerves going into tomorrow like I probably would a Friday during the rest of the SEC. I know we're a one seed, and for the 9 overall, so be it. I think just looking forward to seeing postseason baseball in Tuscaloosa again.
Megan, do you have any fear of dropping the game to Florida and getting into a final, like who's 8 and who's 9, and maybe falling short there just based on the little bit of the surge they've had late in the year and having a win against us, despite the fact we, as we'd like to say, swept that ass earlier in the year?
Mhm.
No, I guess it's because it really will come down to what does the committee want as far as how many SEC teams as national seeds. And I was pulling up projections right now, and below us we have Auburn as the 7, A&M is the 8.
8. Okay.
So
With us is 6,
that
right?
I think is that kind of I think helps in our favor if Auburn wins tonight. Seemingly, they'll play each other tomorrow, which
Yep.
I think would help us because arguably they couldn't really move up in that sense. That I
Sure.
don't know if the outcome of tomorrow is really going to affect what the national seed is. It may just affect where that seeding is, whether it's 6 or whether it's 8.
Right. Roger, your thoughts on that? You feel okay? You feel like this is a little more important for us?
Yeah, I still don't trust the committee. So,
Yeah.
I mean, got the bad feelings of things that have happened in the past, and we don't have the panache of some of the other teams that would get a break on losing. So,
Sure.
I think we could still be 8, even if didn't win tomorrow, but win tomorrow, and then what would be matched up with the Georgia and
Georgia, Mississippi State. Yeah.
State. Get one, I'd feel really good. I mean, 19 SEC wins. I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
If you look, that Southern Miss is projected as the 9 seed right now, and they are currently in a weather delay in Montgomery. So we really need Georgia State to beat Southern Miss.
It'd be nice. Yeah,
I think that helps us.
It'd be nice to see them get knocked back. They're sitting 13 in the RPI. I'll give you the top 8 of the RPI. Or I'll give you, UCLA, Georgia Tech, Auburn 3, Texas 4, Carolina 5, Florida State 6, Alabama 7, USC 8. That's the one that just bothers the hell out of me. 20 and 10 in the Big Ten, big deal. 1 and 10 in quad 1 games. We've won 14 more quad 1 games in this team. Again, and it's a formula. It's very formulaic, but again, USC is a traditional power. You might could stick them in the SEC and they might win 16, 18 games. I don't know, but it doesn't feel like we're comparing out.
Yeah, not if they were 1 and 10 in quad 1s.
Quad 1, yeah. And then the next fringe, you've got Nebraska, which I kind of feel a little bit same way about, although they are 9 and 7 in quad 1s. And then you got, it's an SEC. From there, it's SEC all the way out of Florida, A&M, Mississippi State, Southern Miss, Georgia, Ole Miss, and then down to Oregon. So, I mean, realistically, you could have an almost entirely ACC, SEC with UCLA top 8. I mean, you could have that from a regional standpoint. You might work out that way. It's just the thing that concerns me is just you drop one game, you might drop 1 or 2 in the RPI, and then they might start looking at you from the standpoint of, hey, Nebraska's eating neck and neck with you, or the kind of the participation trophy approach that they sometimes take. That's what concerns me, and why I kind of feel like tomorrow is a little more important for us than maybe some of these other teams. Auburn, I think, with their RPI where it is and strength schedule and what they did with that schedule, 17 quad 1 wins. Again, we got 15. I think that's probably the next most in the country. But Georgia Tech's got 16. Auburn, I think, is in good shape. You're right. I feel top 8 national seed. Hate to say it, but it is. So that's my only concern about it, is that you're a little bit on that fringe, and even though these things don't allegedly count for a hell of a lot, because it's not like these top teams are playing for an auto bid. They've already got a bid.
Right.
That's where you could kind of get into some a little bit of trouble there. But let's, as the tournament shapes up, how do you feel Alabama going into a 3-game run with the 8 teams that are going to be going into a similar 3-game run, and with 4 of them having their entire pitching staff lined up and 4 of them not? Advantage who in this case, assuming Auburn wins? Drew, who wins this thing? Auburn wins tonight.
My overall SEC tournament winner.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually somewhat. I mean, Georgia's the trendy pick because they won 9 of their 10 SEC
Yeah.
series.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably pick them, but usually this tournament ends up having like a team who you would not think would win
Something
it.
else.
So
Yeah.
that could be in Alabama. I don't think anybody's picking Alabama to win this thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
the thing is,
somebody did. Micah.
Micah Butel.
Okay.
Butel is says, yeah.
Wasn't belt the ass guy. He didn't pick us.
No, he's getting
Strikes.
belt to ass on Twitter
on his ABS takes.
Yeah.
It's
well,
we got it.
I think Georgia's gonna. I mean, obviously nobody's gonna. I mean, everybody's going to try to win, but they're not.
Yes.
They're not going all out. They're
not
going to get anybody hurt to try to win the SEC.
Right. I
because
feel like
they already won. They won the SEC that counts. I mean, you win it over 30 games, not over a 3 game set. In Hoover was 16 teams there.
Yeah.
So they may, if they just come out and the way the ball's flying in Hoover.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That normally it'd say, okay, that's going to be to their detriment because they're such a home run heavy team. But I mean, we've already broken the home run record for since the bats have changed, and for some reason the ball's just flying out of there. I mean, and not just no wall scrapers. We're top 400-foot tanks, over.
And even pitches. I mean, that dude today in the Vandy game, a guy for one of the Florida guys, maybe in Sierra, I can't remember who it was. I mean, it felt like it just kind of a ball inside on him, and it kind of turned the hands inside out and kind of hit it the right center, and it just kept going and going and going. It's really carrying out there. And that park historically, if I remember going to see Barons games for years, it was like dead air out there. I don't know what they changed. The global warming or something.
A good majority of them have been oppo, like lefties going to left field.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first pitch of the game the other day, and then who was that? I can't remember who it was. It hit it, but I mean it was like Ole Miss. Decker, the Decker kid who hit 0 home runs at Murray State last year.
Dom Decker,
and has 10 now. Hit one here last weekend and hit that one. So first pitch of the game, and he just goes same thing he did against Fay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this one was oppo.
Yeah. Meghan, who do you think is going in the weekend? I mean, obviously the conventional pick for us is going to be the Tide, of course. Who lines up the best pitching wise? I mean, hitting, I think, hitting probably balance out, but to me, it's kind of a pitching thing when you get into a 3-game sprint like this. Who's got a decided advantage going into the weekend?
I mean, if I'm going to homer, I would say us. And I realistically think we do set up really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
I think, honestly, Texas may have the easier route, just kind of how everything's drawn up.
Thinking. Mm-hmm.
Arkansas might surprise us. They've been known to do that, but I think their arms will catch up with them. And I think as far as the game matchups for tomorrow, like, I expect Texas to win that one pretty handily and then kind of set up tomorrow from there.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, the pitching's lined up for Alabama.
It really,
and it's also lined up for Auburn, and they have a very good staff. By you can tell while they're leading the league and a good portion of the pitching
categories. Yeah.
But then we saw what Texas arms can do. At least 2 of the 3. Well, really 3 of them.
All of them.
We won a game 2-1.
And still struck out like 15 times that day.
Those 3 probably.
Yeah. If you make a case for Alabama, I'll make one real quick. Tell me what you think of this. All right, this team has been maligned by its own fan base, by its own
On
by its own
podcasters.
podcast. It's, I mean, and with good reason. I mean, it's been so up and down and all. And I mean, but I mean, I think it's been deserved in a lot of ways, right? But I think the thing that sticks with me on this team is, yes, you've got the pitching, you got the starting pitching, and that's a huge deal here because you know, again, once you get beyond starters in this league, as we've seen in a lot of ways, it's the great unknown. And even for us, it's kind of the great unknown beyond about three guys after those starters. So you've got your starting pitching lined up. Like I tweeted out earlier in the week, but I think our three starters were top 21 in innings pitched. I mean, they went from Fay at 1 to in SEC play to Upchurch at 21. I think Zane was somewhere in the top 10. I can't remember exactly where. So you've got guys that could chew up innings, and you can kind of cut down on your bullpen exposure and all the variability you tend to get there. The other thing I think about this team, and it's the difference in this team this year being an 18-win conference team versus, maybe if you'd have taken them and placed them a year back in the same kind of environment, maybe they were a 14-win team. Is there seems to be a little more of a sense of urgency down the stretch. They're seasoned a little bit more. I mean, even the Jason Torres, who on paper has had a really, really rough year at the plate, when we needed him in the clutch this weekend, he was there and came through in a big way for us. It's guys like that. And the other thing I think is just that kind of the postseason stigma, deserved or not, but the first 2 years under Coach Vaughn, we've gone 2-0 in regionals. We won one game against a Missouri team that we all put thumb gloves on and gone out and competed with, and then lost a couple. So I think there's that something to prove from this team. If you look at those top four, it's kind of like one of these things is not like the other, probably in the minds of the national baseball fandom and mediadom. We probably know better because we can kind of look at we see it up close and personal, but I think there's something to prove there. And to me, Megan, I think there's something to be said for that and what that might cause this team to do and the intensity with which it might play the next 3 to 4 days.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all that kind of summed up really well in that fact of it's like, I think this team has not really let the outside noise affect them this whole year. Good, bad, otherwise. I mean,
exactly.
I've said my piece on how I feel about this team, and I still don't know if that's changed. But in spite of all of that, they're winning games. They are set up well for this tournament. They are seemingly set up well for postseason, and I don't think it matters nationally what we say, what the fans say, what anything is. Like, this team, I think, will continue to find a way to get the job done.
Yeah. Drew, thoughts on that? Those thoughts about this team?
This team kind of reminds you a lot of like an old school 90s baseball team. Just not really slugging your way into wins, but just finding ways to win. And if we pitch well, if we play defense well, then usually we have a chance to win these games. But we win a lot of these games 4-2, 5-3 instead of 12-1. I don't know if we had any SEC wins that were like, except for the Auburn first game.
Auburn
so the Oklahoma first game could have been that way, but many of these were pretty much down to the last pitch, and so I think that's going to help us. I really want to see us have a nice showing here, and because the last 2 years under Vaughn, we lost to South Carolina that first year, and then last year Missouri, they stunk and we barely beat them. And then Tennessee was a blowout after about the fifth inning. So I feel like even winning a game over a good Florida team will propel us a bit more in the regional, because it's not like we're going to have to win 5 games to win the tournament. You basically just like you said, throw in your rotation. So, I figure that's what we'll do. I mean, I thought, what if we piggybacked Zane and Miles to try to get to Sunday? But and to use them both, assuming we win tomorrow. But I think that's kind of silly. So looking forward to seeing and then spending a lot of money on secondary market tickets this weekend.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Roger, thoughts about this being a dress rehearsal for the following weekend and a regional? It kind of the competition this weekend be better.
It'd be
Honestly.
better. It'd be better than it will be next week for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of setup is similar, but except it's a single elimination, obviously. So, you don't have we know the most games we can play this weekend is 3. It could be a lot more.
Yeah.
It could be a lot more next week, unless you just go and take care of business and just win 3. And I mean, yeah, I guess you have to win 3 and get it over with. And, but, just don't need a week off. You need to face some live pitching.
Exactly.
We need to continue the defensive improvements that we've seen over the last few weeks. Definitely better last weekend. No errors.
Oh, absolutely. And was a big contributor to the win. Honestly, I mean, it was
right.
Plus
They've changed what they've been doing as far as infield practice. They're going more live.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit. Yeah.
All right. So normally they take infield. Before practice starts, they're on the side. They got the little gloves and the little flat mitts.
Yeah.
And the machine shoots balls at them, and they field those. They go through a line filling that. Then they go out in the field, and then it's fungo. And and they realized, okay, well, the fungo, a good fungo hitter hits a great ball every single time, repetitively, and you're not getting the crazy spins and the hard shots and all that. So they've started going to live batters hitting, and whether it's mental or physical or both, it seems to be helping this so far.
Yes, right.
So that's something they'll learn from and go forward with.
Because you get different spin off them. You get top spin off a ball, you back spin off a ball. You might get it off of lip of the infield. I mean, it's more like what you really face. It's
right. So and they do a lot with machines too. Where they'll ramp up the volume or the miles per hour on that and stuff. But I think the live bats, whether it's mental, physical, or both, it's helped. It seems to be helping out.
Yeah. Let me talk a little bit about this because I put together a bunch of thoughts the other night, and one of those tweets that you go to the dryouts and you pull dryouts and you save it, and you go back, you dryouts and you do more. But and y'all probably saw it, but I kind of recapped a little bit about our statistically what this team was about. I'm going to skip right now to the defensive part, but bad fielding club, obviously, that was a tag that kind of stuck with this team. And my point was, I kind of agree with that, but to a point, we were 971 fielding in SEC play. The average in the league was 975. Now, what does it take to get from 971 to 975? Probably just a handful of errors over a 30 game schedule, right? It's just defensive measurements like that. It's all a matter of when you committed it and what happened after, right? How your pitchers got around it. So we weren't really far off the league's bar. We're actually better than 4 SEC teams. And again, this is just SEC play. 6 teams last year, so 2025, fielded over 980. So it's a pretty good fielding league on the top end last year. This year, there were only 3 teams that were 980 or better. So, everyone in the league fielded a little bit worse than they did the year before. We committed up to this point 72 errors in total at all games. 21 were before SEC play even began. So what do we play, like 17, 18 games before we have an SEC game? And then throughout the year, we had games of 5, 4, 6, and 5. So we had 20 errors in those 4 games. And the 21, I think that the 21 before SEC play started, I mean, I think those didn't include those multi-error games. So, when you get right down to it, I mean, you're at, 41 errors in 41 of those 72 were outside the SEC play. And I think we committed like 31 errors in 30 games. So we only committed 4 down the stretch. So those last 9 games where we went, did we go 8-1 in the last 9? I think.
Yes. That's
8-1 the last 9. We only committed 4 total. Those were in 2 games. We committed 2 each in 2 games, and we won both those games. So again, and like I said, this past weekend, particularly, you look at some of the plays. Brendan Holt made, Torres made, Bryce Fowler throughout the season. I mean, you got some plus defense, plus great defensive play out of this team down the stretch. So while it's a narrative and it probably sticks, it feels like Drew. It feels like it's come around and improved for a lot of reasons, like Roger said, and that a lot of it's centered around in a small sample of games.
Yeah, it's good to hear that they changed the way they practiced and however that worked. I don't know if Roger was that live pitchers throw into hitters or like machines throw into
Mm-hmm.
hitters on that.
Some of both. Yeah.
Something
Okay,
about
so
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
Some
it's like,
soft toss to, just whatever,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I
oh,
mean,
okay,
just all of that.
Just
yeah. So
So,
different looks. Yeah.
so you could stick a backup outfielder out there to hit some
Mm-hmm.
balls, just hit hard on the ground or something.
right. Yeah. Just hit it as hard as you can.
Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
like I think we're making winning plays too defensively. You think
Yes.
about Brennan Holt's gotten a lot better at second base defensively. You know, you think he made some nice stabs in the last
Yeah.
couple weekends, and also the winning plays. It's like when they Ole Miss had bases loaded, no outs in the third inning of that
Mm-hmm.
game on Saturday, game
Yeah.
three, and we turned the double play off of a ball hit to deep right field. When the wind knocked it down, probably could have been a grand slam on another day. But yeah, Brady Neal fires it to third, and we are. I think it
Yeah.
was the 9-5-4 double
Nine
play.
five nine five six.
954, 956,
Okay,
maybe. Yeah.
I think Brian was there.
okay.
Um,
So
but yeah,
yeah,
that was very key. I mean, for Miles to get out of that with
yeah,
just the two runs really
Mm-hmm.
was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. LeBron, no, you mentioned Justin LeBron down this stretch has been
Oh, much yeah,
good. Yeah.
much
Much
better,
improved.
much better.
Much improved. Looks a little
Um,
more comfortable. To me, in times like the footwork didn't look great, or the glove, he'd kind of get it off to the side a little bit, like a Bryce Eblin play used
right,
to, and it seems like that kind of whatever that's kind of a filmable. It's a footwork thing that it's usually really fixable. I know when scouts look at that type of thing, they are like, we can. That's not a problem. It's not
right. Well, and
just,
then he's in a lot of ways he's made the very tough plays
yes,
better than he has a lot of the very routine plays,
yes,
like into the hole or behind the bag.
mm,
He's still got it. I mean, I don't like you said. The scouts know there was some bobbles early in the year,
yeah,
particularly on just on balls straight to him, and then a
uh,
few things with some throws, but overall,
mm,
it's not as bad as the nation's making it out to
yes,
be.
right. Right,
mhm.
and he's swinging the bat a hell of a lot better. I think down
Yeah,
lately. I mean, and whether or not I don't know how closely most people that watch us watch it pretty closely, like we do. Um, Even making some loud outs or making some hard contact type
right.
outs, and hitting the ball back up the middle or hitting the ball to the right, the right side. He's doing a lot more of that where he's kind of coming off dead pulling everything, and I think that's been a key down this stretch.
Right, which is really just the fact that he was going Deadpool like that. It's just has gone against
Mm-hmm.
what he's done
Mhm.
other 2 years
Yes,
because like the Ohio State two home run game, they were both
yeah,
right. I mean,
dead,
it's just
yeah,
like he's
powerful to right center.
powerful,
Mhm.
Yes,
powerful. I saw Riggs mention that early in the season,
mm-hmm.
Justin took a curveball that was away that they
uh-huh.
had no business pulling for a home run, and he pulled it for a home run.
uh
And there's kind of like maybe that kind of
uh
facilitated some of the getting pull heavy there.
yeah,
But
what I can do. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Offensively, this is a little more in what I kind of came up with earlier in the year. Again, SEC play only. We batted 243. The league batted 261. So again, we're 20 points off, probably 10% off the league average. But we held our opponents to 248. And that's kind of a common theme that goes to our pitching. We slugged 398. Our opponents slugged 406. We OBP, 347. Our opponents were 338. OPS was 745. Opponents was 744. All these are well below the league averages. OPS was 805. I mean, we're 10% below that. But Drew, it's this is all building up to what the pitching staff did to overcome the offensive inadequacies and keep it where the offense didn't have to do as much.
Yeah, I mean, this was, you know, three of the I don't know if we've had a better solid group of three consistent throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if we've ever had the same three starters in that
30
order
games.
throughout the
No.
season. And Faye really developed into that ace. He was a second team All SEC guy. Upchurch was an all freshman guy, and Zane Adams obviously had some very good moments as well. Solid veteran number two guy. Getting those guys to go 6 innings, sometimes Faye usually 7 innings, no
Yeah.
matter what, was very key. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean I don't know how many of them we'll get to see this weekend, but it's going to really be a big key for the regionals when you know we're throwing in game two Zane Adams against a 2 or 3 seeds number two, who's probably
Yes.
most of unless you're facing like Coastal or something,
Uh-huh.
most of them are not going to be like your weekend SEC
He's
pitcher.
your home reliever, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that.
You guys think this was a pitchers league or a hitters league this year? I mean, when you look at the Megan, here's just OPS on it. Georgia was 940, kind of ran away with the league. A&M was second, 928. State was 866, but then Texas was 853. So these are all the teams, well above the 800 mark. We're at 745, or we're the only one of the top four who were outside of that top of the top four teams outside of it. Is it more important to hit, more important to pitch in this league,
I
or
think,
do both like Texas?
I mean,
Yeah.
I think if you get both, it definitely benefits you. But I think overall this year has seen much more of a pitching league than it has been a hitting league, in my opinion. If nothing else, if you just look at how like very evenly matched up
Mm-hmm.
every single weekend, and that even gives like
Yes.
credit to South Carolina. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the teams that we look at as like the bottom of the league. Well, you look at what's actually happening and what, their bullpens like ERA is.
Yeah.
Their
It's
bullpen,
very, very
their
even.
bullpen's very good. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, I mean, even Missouri had some tight game. You look up and occasionally Missouri's holding someone to a fairly tight game. But then LSU couldn't pitch a lick. The teams that traditionally were the better.
Right.
You couldn't get any in, and a lot of his injuries and such. Um, you so you say it's probably more of a hitter.
She said
I said
pitchers.
pitching. I
More of
think
a
it's a
pitchers
pitching
league.
league this
What
year.
do you guys
Yeah.
think on that? More of a pitchers league, more of a hitters league?
Yeah, Roger, I would say probably, I can't see, a couple years ago we had Caglione and Charlie Condon
Yes.
hitting 30 home runs each. I don't know that we had as many of those
Yeah.
big bopper.
But
We
we
didn't play
we had
Georgia.
a lot of 18 to 20 type,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
or 15 plus, like several on a team.
I
Uh-huh.
guess I'm so used to our games being 5-3 and I
Yeah.
didn't watch as many of the other games.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
Yeah.
and the pitching is really good, but it's not like the years of David Price and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Walker Bueller and like two or three guys on a staff that are first rounders.
Hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of guys that are saying, are first rounders, and they ended up getting hit some, like
Uh-huh.
Peterson and some of those guys. And then you
Hmm.
get like Dylan Valanis, or however you say it,
Volantis
for
at Texas.
Texas, but which obviously he's not draft eligible. But I mean, it looks unhittable. The
Hmm.
Taylor Rabe for Ole Miss,
That guy.
at least the day he pitched against us. I
mhm.
mean, and then they had three guys that are supposed to be really, I mean, that
Hmm.
are really good. So there's a lot. I don't know what'll get picked more.
Yeah.
Probably more pitchers in this, say for the draft class for
For
this
this
year,
year. Yeah. Could be. Yeah. Yeah.
like Larson's eligible next year
Next year.
from
Yeah. Shortstop
Florida,
in Florida. Yeah.
and some of the, I
Hmm.
guess like Gorak and some of those guys at A&M are eligible.
Grove. Yeah, he is. He is. Curiel, the center fielder at LSU, is
Right.
eligible as a sophomore. Of course, LeBron will be way up there too. So again, I think the conclusion of this, it was obvious. I mean, this team got to 18-12 by on the back of its starting pitching, eating up innings. Fay at 63.2 innings pitched led the league in SEC play. Adams at 55.2 was number 9. Upchurch, a freshman, at 44.6, despite going a third of an inning, or a third, was it one third in the Florida
one third
game?
against Florida. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's going to have a down outing, but most of them are going to get out of the first inning. But we were the only team in the SEC with 3 in the top 21. So, if you really got down to, you looked up and down the rest of that 21, those other 18 were spread out over all the other team. Team ERA in SEC play was 4.52. Our opponents was 5.12. The ERA for the league was 5.72. So again, we were a full point and 1.2 runs below the league average, and a full 0.6 runs below our opponent's average. And so what does that tell you? It tells you played a lot of one-run games, or a lot of real one-run, two-run games. We played 13 one-run games across our 55. So one in every, 4, pretty much. 8 in SEC play. We went 11-2 in one-run games across all games, and we were 6-2 in SEC play. That's how you go from 18-12 as opposed to 14-16, right?
Yeah.
If you go 2-6 in one-run games, you're 14-16. So so that was the key. We beat Auburn 3-2. We beat Oklahoma 3-2. We lost 3-2 to Arkansas. We beat Texas 2-1. We won on the walk-off with Vandy by Johnny Lim 5-4. We beat South Carolina 7-6. We beat Ole Miss 5-4. So all those one-run games, with the exception of one that was 7-6, arguably were tight, low-scoring games. Yes. High leverage, what 9-8 or 11-10. It was all these real tight, low-scoring games. And the other thing to point out, deep offensively, we only scored 6 more runs than our opponents in SEC play. So that probably tells you won all these one-run games, and occasionally you got blown out, and which we did. Arkansas whipped us pretty good one night. Texas knocked us around pretty good one night. One of those Kentucky games, I think, got out of hand. Tennessee knocked us around twice. I mean, pile all those up in your losses and then take all these one-run wins, and that's kind of how you get there. We averaged 5.4 runs in SEC play. Our opponents, we allowed 5.2. So again, margin for error, very tight. We got a 0.2 run differential in what we scored and what we allowed against the teams we played. When we scored 6 or more, that we did that 12 times in the SEC games. We scored 6 or more 12 times. What do you think our record was?
11-1.
Yep. You probably read the tweet. No.
I did. I just, the way you were setting it up, I figured it was going to be something like that.
We go 11-1 when we score 6 or more. So again, 6. This is a chum special. It's always 6, right? I mean, it plays out 6 runs. 6 runs or better, your chances of winning go exponentially higher. We were 11-1. 6 runs or less, it happened to us 14 times. What was our record in those, you think?
Well, considering we won some 3-2 and 2-1 games, how many games did you say?
14 times.
8-6.
No, we allowed.
We allowed 7-5.
Where we allowed 6 or more. Yeah.
6 or more, not 5 or more. Probably 4 wins. So what's that? 4-10.
Plus 5. I'll give you that.
5.
Yeah, 5. We got 5 and 9 in those games. So again, 6 runs was kind of that sweet spot. All right. I don't know if you did this for Georgia or something. They only had however many losses, but I mean, if you took an Auburn team or something and did this, probably gonna be pretty similar because they were not a high scoring team. But I mean, I think if you probably a good way of looking at these teams and kind of figure out where was that cut line with a good pitching team like us. It was 6 wins or 6 runs. It might have been 7 or 8 for some of these other teams. But so again, starting pitching, enough offense. I mean, the offense was there when we needed it occasionally. It wasn't always just pouring it on, but it was there. I don't recommend this every year. I don't recommend this next year because I don't think starting pitching, Meghan, is going to be stacked like this next year.
If we can find a way to get Tyler Fay and St. Adams back, it definitely
they
could
do have
be.
another year. But it's obviously you got a young freshman who'll be a sophomore and will have 15-ish, 20 starts, whatever, under his belt. that probably is your Friday night guy, absent somebody transferring in or somebody really, developing over the summer and fall. But it's a good formula this year, and I kind of credit the coaching staff because it's the formula that worked for this team.
Yeah, you have to be adaptable. I mean,
yeah. What do you think, Nick? I mean, and again, we got a long way to go this year. We might have 12, 13 more games. What do you think next year? What have you got to do next year different with this team?
You got to play guys like Eric Hines earlier in the season if they are freshmen.
Mhm.
I think we wanted all those young pups to play more, and they should have rotated more of those. But I think Hines, especially, is a guy
Mhm.
who would have uh, he would have had a really good season, been a freshman
Mhm.
of the year candidate from the get go. I think,
Yeah.
and he's probably a guy. He could have hit 20 home runs if he'd
15, 20
started
home
every
runs, yeah.
game. I mean, might have
yeah,
a
I
lot of
mean,
strikeouts, but he got better at that. He hit breaking balls over the fence and for
Mhm.
opposite field hits. So he's a really good hitter.
yeah, he's sitting there at 7 home runs, and I
Yeah.
mean, he easily beat up. I mean,
He
obviously double
Half the
14 or
at
15
bats.
14 or
probably.
15 probably.
Yeah.
Um, so, but then again, maybe if you throw him in there too soon, it doesn't
Mhm.
work. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
6. I mean,
The thing I see about Hines, and I tweeted about this during maybe it was games this weekend. There was a sequence where like a walk he drew off an 0-2 count, and they kept hitting him hard with breaking, like they did Peyton Steele in that at bat the other
yeah,
day. Maybe it's the last. They kept hitting him with these breaking balls, hit him with these breaking balls. Early in the year, he was going to swing. He was going to swing at the first one, and it was going to be strike three. And he just kept aggressively taking those pitches. Or there were a couple of times when they were shifted on him, and he just punched a single through the right side where the second baseman should have been. And I thought it's the kind of development you get out of 100, 120 at bats in SEC play
yeah,
that you're not going to get like the way we played Purdy or the way we did Barnett. And you're playing, you just pop up there. You're going to have to see more of that to be able to develop that. And I thought Hines developed that, but I think you're right. We probably didn't do justice to some of those guys developmentally. But if we're not this, if our starting pitching is not this next year,
this,
which I
yeah.
mean, it's hard to. I mean, you can go ahead and
Mhm.
go and write it in. It's probably not going to be right. It's probably
You just got to
not
hit
going to
more
be.
home runs, I
I
think.
mean,
Yeah,
find 3 guys that start that make every
Yeah.
start is
yeah,
unheard of this
yeah.
day and age. And um, yeah, like Drew said, we need more power.
Uh-huh.
So and hopefully some of these guys that are coming back,
Hmm.
you know, that do have a lot of power, like Caleb Barnett and Purdy, and
Hmm. Hmm.
obviously Eric. They're gonna show it. Start from the beginning
Right.
and hopefully just rake all season long.
Hmm. And you hope you get a leap from a guy like a Steele, or you get guys, who knows? Some of these guys that were hurt, the Christensens and the Davenports and all. Who knows if you get them back? But maybe that's there. And I mean, you hate to talk about it, but there's 40-ish guys on that roster, and a lot of them are going to not be there.
Yeah,
And a lot of others are going to come in, so it's hard to even talk about it a lot. But I do feel like the formula worked this year. It's just probably not very conventional for an SEC contender. It just so happened to work that well for us this year. All right, so there's that team. There's what you got on this team, and what kind of how I summed up why this team is where it is, and how it got there, and kind of amazingly how it got there. Let's talk about this past weekend briefly while we're before we get into it. Ole Miss brought. All right, that was an impressive looking. Roger, we've talked about it a lot.
woo,
A few
yeah,
years ago, when we always talked about it. We don't look like an SEC team getting off the bus, and we do now. But there were times when we always talked about the kind of the eye test of the guys getting off the bus and just not. But I don't know what these guys are doing for strength and conditioning, and some of these guys now 23, 24 anyway. But and particularly like leg day, we were laughing about these guys don't
yeah.
miss leg day. It was a
Mhm.
big, impressive bunch of dudes.
I mean, they massive guys.
Yeah.
First base, third base, right field, pitchers. I mean, just massive humans.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
6'5", 230, 6'4", 265, 6'5", 230. I mean, just on and down. I mean, and like you said, we look more like, we look better getting off the bus now, but
yes.
our guys don't look like that.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
it was something else. And like I said, it was leg day was the thing. Like these dudes are getting up, up there and they're like, just like tree trunks. Um, the pitching going into this weekend, you knew these are going to be three pretty well pitched games. Um, the staff at Ole Miss again, you had Hunter Elliott who's been through a lot of battles and come back from injuries, still going. Obviously, his last go round at it. Uh, Rabe on I guess it's Friday was just a savage out there, and really the more of the hype around their starting pitching to me, or what I gathered, and really what I feared more going the weekend was around Cade Townsend, who we ran in the fourth inning. Um, Drew is as good a group of starters outside of maybe Texas that we've seen this year.
Um, Auburn, I thought Auburn starters were pretty good, but we didn't see Alvarez. So,
Yeah,
uh, I thought we started off pretty good against Elliott with the
Elliott
hard double off of him and then the home run, and then he just threw us a lot of changeups that we couldn't hit.
couldn't lay out.
Rabe was, we attacked Townsend a lot better than we did Rabe. Rabe had more velocity, and it's like we couldn't see, or maybe we were
Mm-hmm.
sitting fastball, and then he'd throw the slider, we'd swing through. So he was really dialed in with that. And I wonder, he probably, maybe the fastball is a little flat, but if you're swinging at what you think is going to be a fastball into the slider, fastball is a lot better. So, um,
I
yeah,
mean,
we had it
everything he
was
was throwing was nasty though.
yeah,
Yes,
but
nasty.
it was the slider. It was two sliders where it was like 97, 98. So
Yeah.
you couldn't really sit on fastball. And I think
Hmm.
we were sitting on fastball and swinging at sliders too early.
Yeah.
And then Townsend, we hit him a lot better,
Uh,
did whatever better.
yeah. Roger Ray felt a little bit like some of these guys we've seen over the, when Arkansas's brought some of these arms
Oh
they brought.
yeah.
I mean, a little. I mean, we hadn't seen as much of that this year. I hadn't seen as many
No,
power arms.
not
Tegan
yeah.
Coons, even Valance.
Skeens, Kate Anderson's,
Yeah, I mean, you hadn't
um,
seen as much of that, so he was a little different cat to watch up close and personal.
kind of like the Texas dude,
Mm.
but just I mean, we didn't touch the ball for till the seventh batter of the game.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
mean, I
He
mean,
was making us look silly. I mean, and you could tell that game was we had no shot in that game. We could have faced that guy for 18 innings and not hit him. It was just wasn't happening. Um, it
yeah. Had we not gotten that hit in the seventh, he would have probably gone the whole way and thrown a no hitter. I
yeah.
mean, they went ahead and took him out after
After
that
six,
inning.
yeah,
So,
he struck out 13. He was probably his pitch count was 88. He probably could have gone. He could probably
yeah,
go on 132 like Fade and struck out 20.
right.
But and you hate it for Zane Adams because I mean Zane pitched a pretty solid game. Made a couple of mistakes, and the inning that they got to him is when he finally gave up a couple of walks, and and then they launched one. He was managing to kind of like Tyler, give up the long balls, but mostly solo shots, and then it finally caught up. Um, Important in that game as we go back to that, and again, a 9-0 game that we get knocked around. We hadn't seen a whole lot lately of the Sam Mitchells and the Evan Steckmessers and Austin Morrises and Connor Lemons and Zach Kitchells, and they all got a little taste in there. I mean, you're going to need two or three of those guys, one or two of those guys at least down the stretch. You might need them. You might need them Saturday or Sunday. You might need them on Sunday night or a Monday afternoon, God forbid, in a regional. I mean, important to. We know what we got with the other three that come out of the pen. Meghan, important for those guys to get kind of get well or get back on. And how hard is that to do when you're just not getting innings?
I think that's the worrying part is that I think there's a reason we haven't been seeing them because we've kind of seen
Mm-hmm.
what's happened when we have, but at the same point of like you can't get out of this funk, you can't whatever it is
Mm-hmm.
if you're not actually getting thrown into game situations
Yes.
because you can do
Right.
bullpens, you can do practices all day long. It's not the same thing. We know it's not the
Right.
same thing, And the reality is we are inevitably going to need somebody, and I hope, maybe it's we get like we had Ben Hess of the SEC tournament a few years ago where
Mm-hmm.
he came out of nowhere and we were like, okay, what's
Mm-hmm.
happening here? And then we saw what that led into being of like Ben Hess being Ben Hess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Hunter
we don't
Furtado
know.
that game.
Yeah,
Brutal.
I don't think any of these guys are first round draft picks.
Yeah.
That throw 98.
We thought that Ben Hess
No,
when
no,
he
I
did
mean
that either.
Hess came in highly rated, highly touted, like he was going to be that guy eventually. Yeah, he faced Georgia and struck out 10 in 4
And
innings.
10. Yeah.
It was untouchable. I think maybe we might realize from what happened in that game with this main game was Steck is a 1 inning guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he gave us a great inning, and then we just kept
Second.
throwing him back out there. And, I mean, like you said, we weren't going to score any runs off of them. So it was just getting some guys some work. But, if you could settle in on him for 1 inning and maybe a couple of lefties, and don't try to stretch Sam too much. Limit them, let them have success.
Yes.
And I know it's tempting to, hey, they were good. Let's ride them. Because we don't know what else we got, but that comes back to bite you. That's how Sam's ERAs ended up being 6.9 or something.
Yeah, Drew, that's how bullpen guys kind of work. I mean, right? Even in the majors, you don't see
Yeah.
you don't see a lot of middle bullpen. I mean, you see closers going in, and you see middle gets setup guy gives you the seventh. It's kind of it's the way baseball.
Yeah.
They're all 1 inning guys, probably.
I think the biggest JJ criticism I've had over the years is the sticking with a bullpen guy for too long and kind of wondering, like, should you pull him too early? I remember we played Arkansas in the SEC tournament in 22, I think it was, and Jacob McNary started, and he went out and got him. It could have been 21. I don't. One of those. Roger will know. Dylan Ray was on the team that year, so whatever year that was, or he was pitching that year. McNary pitched like 51 pitches into the fifth, 55 pitches. JJ went and got him. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But it worked. I mean, the guys came in and did well. So it's kind of like, it doesn't always work. I mean, it's like when Corbin got Connor Fennell against us. I mean, that backfired. But I think we kind of, with those guys, it's like, Morris has good stuff. Lehman, good stuff. You pretty much have to throw 3 or 4 of them in for about 3 batters each or 2 batters each or a matchup and go from there. And then you maybe get to your Heiberger at the end or Crowther or someone like that. So I think that's how those guys can help us the most. And you really have to, they're puzzle pieces and you gotta place them in the right place or something. That's not the best analogy, but
I do think that this year JJ has had a quicker hook.
Quicker hook. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
And then a lot of that over the years, this year and previously, it's like the lack of quality.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I can't do this 4 times because we don't have, 4 other guys to put out there. So it's kind of bitten us in the ass a few times, but that's more a residue of what you have to work with.
He got Banks on that Sunday, South Carolina, quickly when he should have. Which then we didn't see Banks against Ole Miss. So hopefully he's good and can give us a little bit here and there.
So, yeah. You didn't have to because, Friday night, Thursday night, game 1 was kind of the quintessential Alabama pattern for a SEC win. Fay goes out there, gives you 7 strong innings, only gives up 7 hits, 3 earned runs, strikes out 11, walks 1 guy, 11 to 1 strikeout to walk ratio. And he can go 115 pitches. I mean, it's just that way. He's whippy with his arm. His mechanics are good. He's fluid, and he doesn't, even when he's at 115 pitches, he doesn't really show signs of fatigue. He's not. Like the no hitter that night. Everybody's like, oh, he threw 132 pitches. Yeah, but he's like the 132nd one was just as good as the first one.
Right.
And so he gives you that, and then you go to Heiberger, and and it's go. You're either going Heiberger or you're going Crowther there. You go Heiberger, which we tended to do the first go round. And while he gives up 1 run, he strikes out 5. We struck out 16 guys that night, and we walked 2. I mean, that's
winning baseball.
Why is Alabama 18-12 in the SEC? That's because that's the kind of performances we're getting out of our pitching staff. you eke out, a whopping 8 hits that night against a pretty well pitched game again. Four of them are out of the top two guys in your order. Bryce, talk about the bat Bryce Fowler swinging, Megan. It's he's swinging a hot bat, and he's making hard contact too, and that's he goes 3 for 5 that night, scores a couple of runs, drives in one.
Yeah, it definitely feels like Bryce, I guess, kind of went into that slump at the right point to now be able to come out of it when we definitely
Mm-hmm.
we need it. We need
Mm-hmm.
our leadoff guy getting contact, getting on, doing the job because got to get someone on to be able to score, sort of thing. And he looks good. The contact is good. It's been consistent, really, because even when he did kind of slump for a while, like it was still that loud contact was still there, where
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't a matter of if he was going to come out of it. It was just a matter of when.
Win, yeah. Roger,
Yeah.
we talked about
Seven,
MVPs and probably he
Bryce
might
Bryce
had
is pushing it right now.
second
Yeah.
half of the season. Probably he's your MVP on this
Yeah, I
team.
mean, 17 doubles. I mean,
Mhm.
he kind of got looked over for all SEC
Yeah.
notice. I mean, he hit 361 in the league and he's hitting
Uh-huh.
320 something overall. So, I mean, it's and then like 12 doubles in league play. I mean, he's
Mhm.
really he's really been key. He's
Yeah.
he's he's got a lot of strikeouts for leadoff guy, but I
Yeah.
mean, he's
He's
getting
cut
on
down on that
base.
a little bit, though. I mean,
Yeah, he's
Ray
cut
got him
down
once,
some,
but he got everybody.
but and he's going up. He's hitting some doubles to the left side when they're shifting, and he's playing a good defense out there
Yeah.
too.
It
Uh,
looks to me, Drew, like the league got a book on him in the first half of the year, and like good teams will do or good hitters will do, once they figure out the book on you, you adjust to the book because everyone's still,
Mhm.
everybody started pitching him a certain way, and boy, he just turned it. He changed something up. He really
Yeah, I mean,
shortened up, went more inside out. Like Roger said, go oppo.
but yeah, it's been really nice. I
Yeah,
mean, fifth year guy, 23 years old. I
mhm.
mean, you're a veteran. That's what they need to
that's what
do.
you should do. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thoughts
Now
on
now
Fowler?
we got to get Brady going because he hadn't had a hit
That's
Yeah.
yeah,
since
yeah. Because
since
that's what
the
I was gonna say. Brady was probably your MVP of this team, but if you look at the last half of the season of the SEC season, it's probably going to be him. Thoughts on what LeBron's doing again? It was good to see him, putting the ball, uh, hitting the ball out of the park on this Thursday. Keep going.
third
Game
first game.
Thursday
Yeah,
night. Thursday
Yeah.
night, get you off to a good start. Homered,
drove in another one.
pounding the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, hitting it hard. Had a couple of strikeouts
Yeah,
against Ray, but who didn't.
yeah,
Mhm.
Drew a walk, made good contact once, and then the double in the first inning to score Bryce on
yeah. Get you a good
Saturday.
start.
That was
Yeah.
big too.
Yeah. Friday again, Thursday night, you get a big hit from JoJo Williamson, who's been a real find here down the
Mhm.
straight in a pinch hit role for Steele late. You get Kroberger. Kroberger gets a hit later. I mean, it's good to see some guys coming in off the bench and having some success. So that happens Saturday or Friday happens, and we'll forget about Friday. I think the best thing I saw this weekend was that seemingly the hitting approach just changed entirely going into to Saturday, game three, with Kate Townsend on the mound, who could be pretty, he's one in his power of a guy that as Rabe is, Drew, but has good stuff. I mean, it's been a
Mhm.
really, really solid SEC quality starter. And we managed to run him in the fourth inning and jump out to a lead that we then kind of hold on. So I mean, you like what you see out of the team to kind of flush
Mhm.
Friday and get ready and go again on Saturday.
Yeah, we got off to a good start. I think Fowler hit one hard.
Mm-hmm.
I know I can't remember if Limbs was off Townsend
Yep.
or somebody else, but he had a
Mm-hmm.
solid
It
two
was
out
it was
single.
it
I think
was
it
off
still was.
Townsend.
Yeah.
It was
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Townsend in the
so
Third.
third.
yeah, had some better at bats. You know, he wasn't I thought I was thinking he'd be 97, 98, but he was more 94, 95, I
93.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, made him work a little more. Had a better game plan against him, is what it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, our guys came out like they wanted to win a super regional, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the type of team you play in a super regional. If you're a 7 seed and you're playing a 10 seed. I mean, Ole Miss is a tough team to stop, and
Yeah,
more impressed with our pitching performance in that game, especially the way Upchurch performed, and then Crowther at
hmm
the end. That was incredible. 7 solid from Miles, I believe it was, and
yeah.
then
Seven solid,
Was,
4 hits,
yeah.
most,
strikeouts.
I
his
mean, was that his
longest,
best?
longest
Was that his
outing in
best
his
game of the
career.
year? Was that the
Yeah,
best game of his career? We think.
I would say so
I
because it
Yeah.
thought
was
so. I thought
So,
it was his best start.
very important, and he went deep.
And when
mhm.
101 pitches gives you 7 innings, turn over to Crowther, who was just
Yeah.
lights out. I mean, just untouchable there. It gets through 2 innings on 21 pitches. So
With
so you like
nothing over 88.
nothing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then we talked a little about this. If Crowther came back, and is another year out from injury and whatnot. I mean, he's an interesting piece because he could be. And yeah, I don't know what Haberger, either of these guys could move on or whatever. But if you the kind of the role we talked about a lot with Haberger, maybe the guy you can go to twice in a weekend, after he's recovered from, maybe picks up a little more velocity. But boy, he really was a prize down the
Ooh,
stretch.
he really has been. And and I think things are leaning toward him coming back, but
Yeah,
losing Zane and Tyler, we need a couple starters.
yeah. It's
So
got to
whether
be
that's it's got whether that's a portal guy or somebody we already
yeah,
have,
or somebody we develop internally. Yeah,
right.
because you've got to look at if I'm and again, money's one thing. If I'm out there and I'm a guy I think I can pitch in the SEC and I'm at Western Kentucky or where the Conference USA or Sun Belt or wherever, uh, I've got to look at Alabama as a pretty attractive spot based on some of the pitcher development, the first rounders, the Riley Quicks, the Greg Ferruns who was
Ben
transferred in
Ben
for 1 year,
Ben House, yeah.
the Hesses, these three guys. I mean, these two guys that are going to probably go in the draft. I've got to look at that and say, hey, these guys can develop starting pitching, and they lean on it real heavily. It might be an attractive landing spot for somebody. You only need one or two of them, right? Thoughts on that, Drew? Is it a
You
especially
know,
if you end up hosting a regional, maybe a super,
mhm.
and
Yeah,
develop your profile.
you hope that Smyers can develop into um, a weekend starter. He had some chances the year. I don't think
Mhm.
we've seen him since the UAB debacle.
Mhm.
But it's kind of like Grayson Hitt. He was unpitchable at the end of his freshman year, and he developed
Yeah.
into a guy who signed for more than $1 million. I mean, he hate to lose him with that Tommy
Mhm.
John in 23, but I don't exactly remember who is in our signing class for this year.
Uh,
Kid
Probably
from
add some.
Northridge, kid from Northridge that threw too
yeah.
many pitches.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Are we really going to count on a guy who threw 124 pitches as a high school senior in a game next year? I mean, yeah. So I think we'll hit the portal and try to find at least a guy. I suggested maybe Crowther would be one, but in our
Mhm.
weekly Joe chat, you put a thumbs down to that. So
I
Hmm.
don't know if I did. Did I?
no, Paul
I
did.
Paul
Oh,
did.
Uh,
He likes him in the
yeah.
like
two times a weekend role.
So I like him somewhat. I don't really care, but
yeah.
I did wonder, is he a guy who could stretch and be that? I mean, I do
It'd be
like
a
his
starter.
bulldog
Yeah, because
mentality at the end. So
he starts.
He has started in his career,
That's
so
what I thought.
yeah,
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
strikes,
Uh,
he can. I think he can get through an order
mhm.
more than once, even if he's 88. But I think maybe, hopefully next year he's 91, 92 at least.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. A
And
year
then
further.
you
well,
just
and
kind of see what you
like
got.
Johnny said, they saw video of what
Mhm.
94, 95 or
Yeah.
so.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Before we move on from that game, again, I want to touch on. Um, oh, sorry, I was kind of lost my place. Watch some over there, lost my place. Jason Torres in this game pulls off 2 hits, just smokes a ball at their shortstop. That some shortstops might make that play tough, but when we really needed a
Well,
hit there late in the game, get a little insurance.
I think it
Uh,
was 108 off the bat
yeah, I
too.
mean, just smoked it. Yeah,
Yeah,
108, and again, a 2 hit night for Torres. You love seeing that in his final SEC home game at Alabama. And again, you just can't say enough about what you got out of a freshman. The implications of this game from Upchurch, we're coming off a loss. If we lose, we might draw. We're still a host. I mean,
yeah.
anything can happen, but you might fall to that 9 or 10. Your RPI is going to drop a little. You you're probably having a hard time today looking ahead and saying, "Hey, we might be a top 8 seed nationally if you lost that game." All right, and we put that on a freshman to go do it. And Megan, he shoved. I mean, he went and grabbed it. It wasn't he didn't back into anything that day.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's a freshman, but he's not. He hasn't really looked
Yeah,
like one,
yeah,
with the
hadn't looked like it
exception
all
of
year.
one game.
Yeah,
Like he hasn't looked like it all year, and it's
Physically or mentally, he's not a
yeah,
freshman. I
yeah,
mean,
like it's the expectation that he clearly has, that
uh,
the team has the faith in him, that it's like this is what he's supposed to go do. And
mhm,
it makes me excited for what will continue to come, I think, this season and into next year, of just like
mhm,
this is what he looks like,
yeah,
and we're going to give it more time to just develop even more.
yeah.
and we got notice that he's got Team USA tryouts.
And see, yeah, it sure did.
Yeah,
Yes,
got called for Team
I
USA.
mean, we had some other awards over the year. I guess let's see, we had Brady made second team all
Team
conference. Faye made second team all
and
conference.
and Miles made all freshmen.
Miles was all freshman. So yeah,
And
probably
was SEC Pitcher of the Week.
of the week. Yep, as
Mhm.
well. Yep, definitely. So so good to see that. Let's hit a couple of questions and a couple other things. Hunter Johnson at Burner L Johnson.
Mhm.
uh, which player has the best walk up music? Let's go hitter. What's your favorite walk up tune, Drew?
Mine is Bryce is Fowler's.
Yeah. I don't know what
It's
it's
the
called.
it's on my Amazon playlist now. I'd never heard of it
Getting into
until
the sunrise, doing 90s.
yeah. I
Somebody
think it's like a Young Jeezy or something
is
like
yeah, yeah.
that.
I'm some boomer. I don't
I
know.
could be wrong.
You know what that is, Megan?
Megan
If I had
Des-
heard it all this year, I would have a bigger sample size, but I have nothing of reference. So
Yeah.
I'm the
Yeah.
wrong person to ask.
I think consensus is that "Ain't It Fun" was great when LeBron was doing it, and he
Yeah,
from it.
it's I'm So Paid.
I'm so
Akon
paid. Yeah,
featuring
okay,
featuring Lil Wayne and Young Jeezy.
yeah.
So
It is. I knew it was a little Wayne in there somewhere, but I didn't know who the
yeah.
kind of prime artist was. And that to me is the best. I mean, it really. I love Jason Torres. It's called
Torres is his name.
yeah, yeah. Hi Que Bueno. Hi Que Bueno. I think it's a breakup song.
I have
I
no
went and
idea
found
what
it,
they're
read
saying,
about
but
it. Um,
I know Rocco loves it, so that's
Rocco
that.
loves it. Gets the crowd going. I mean, when they
Yeah.
play it loud enough, and I get mad when they don't. What about the pitchers? I mean, the pitchers is kind of cool because you get the full fat. You get 2.5 minutes
Mhm.
of those guys. They come out.
I like Banks's.
Like Banks says,
Oh yeah.
is
Cut him
that a
down.
Cash,
Chris
Johnny
Stapleton or
Cash.
Johnny
Johnny Cash.
Cash.
Johnny
oh he's
Cash.
Johnny Cash, yeah.
Uh, I liked Osmer's a whole lot last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was really good.
yeah.
I like
Somebody
Oh well,
Faze.
up churches.
yeah. Somebody plays a Kiss.
Holy Grail for Miles. I like
I
that for
think
church on Sunday. The Holy
yeah,
Grail.
I think Owen
Mhm.
Sarna maybe plays does a Heavens on Fire by Kiss. It's kind of cool 80s hair band tune. That's kind of
The
cool.
two times he came in, you heard
That's
that?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heiberger's got a pretty cool. He's always had a kind of a disco-y type version of it. So yeah, a lot of good ones up and down the lineup. A couple of them I don't really like, but yeah, I think we're kind of a consensus there. We had one from somebody, and I don't have it up in front of me who it was asking it, but
Johnny
Colleen
Mossface.
Duncan. Thoughts on the ABS system so far in the SEC tournament? Y'all been watching these games, and I mean, what are your
Mm.
thoughts on it?
They seem like today they're getting a little quicker than they were on it yesterday, but I don't know if I mean the way they're measuring it's like
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
Do
really
you feel like the strike zone's bigger?
Yes, it seems like
Yeah.
yeah. So that part's kind of weird. LSU's got a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, they got 1-0 lead.
Yeah.
Go hate watch going on while we're recording here tonight,
Yeah.
which always is fun.
If they used it more precisely like MLB is, I think it might be better. But I don't know if is the SEC tournament the time to try something like that.
Yeah.
Instead of Rhode
maybe
Island in February.
doing those games. Maybe that's the way they
And then
do it.
then at least you can figure out things. I don't know. Maybe it is. And that may be telling us that, that SEC tournament really doesn't mean all that much.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Because it's making Drew, it's making a pretty big impact. If you look, I mean, a lot of these are catcher challenges of ball calls, and they're being called strikes.
Yeah.
I mean, I dare say, I mean, the dude from Missouri was uncanny. I mean,
He was like
Yeah.
7 for 8, wasn't he, or something?
on day one.
What I my two things. The first thing is I hate it when like a ball gets like about 1 millimeter of the strike
Mhm.
zone and it's
Yeah.
overturned to be a strike. I kind of wish the ball should be more than halfway into the zone for
Mhm.
it to be a strike.
Yeah.
And they can figure that part out based on the technology they have.
Especially since they're going an inch wider.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
right.
it's like I just when it's so low, whatever. But I liked what Carrick Jackson said. Somebody asked him if he lets his hitters challenge, and he
Uh-huh.
said, "Well, have you seen our hitters swing this year or something like that?" But then he also said last game or last weekend they had a code for like if a hitter was going to challenge a pitch, he would
Uh-huh.
tap on his hip, and then they would go
Okay.
back and review it. And they reviewed like I think they did it 5 times in the last weekend, and the hitters were wrong all
They
five
were wrong.
times.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you just want. I can see Brady being a guy who challenges
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
lot of them if
Uh-huh.
he's catching. I don't know about Johnny. I guess I could definitely, but yeah, I mean Brady maybe playing the outfield for us. I think he probably needs to in
Yeah.
this situation. With such a big outfield. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking forward to seeing how it what
Yeah,
happens
how it
when
works
we
with
do it.
us. Yeah, yeah. I think Megan. I think the moral of the story, the catchers probably know better because I mean they've got the straight on view. The hitters having to look at it from an angle, not know the full depth. And we're talking millimeters and centimeters.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of the calls have been overturned.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the catchers are seemingly seeing what they're seeing. I think it's just a testament of like we knew this is going to get put in place at some
Yeah.
point, and the NCAA or the SEC, whoever made the call at what level, they're testing it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be shocked when this is fully in place come next season.
Nick, so you think it's something you're going to see next year, Roger?
I don't know if they're quite ready yet, but
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I mean, I wasn't ready for the safety bag either. So
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else is doing this. Are we the only league doing it? You know?
I think it's
as far as I
just
know, it's
Just
just
us.
us.
Okay. All right. All right. Anyway, interesting thoughts. My thoughts on it. I mean, it seems to me, and I think the authority on this, and you've seen a lot of tweets from him, is Eddie Furness, who played at LSU, um,
Yeah,
father of the Ole Miss first baseman, has been tweeting a lot about it. Early on was, talking about, and I guess he had a point earlier. It was like, why are they making the zone so wide? And then the kind of the answer was, well, that's kind of they're doing it where seemingly the zone is being called, but or during the year. But I think what we're probably finding is that they've made it's made the zone a little bit wider than it was really being called. We probably perceived that the zone was being called a certain way, but as many calls as I've seen overturned for a ball call being flipped to a strike, I think it is, and again, we're talking the margins are so thin here, right? I mean, it feels to me like we've made the zone a little wider, which it doesn't really thrill me with our team coming on that seems to take a lot of strikes, but um, coming on the next day or so. But it's worth watching. The other question that same had was what about the Vandy Whistler? Good for the game or not? Are you glad he's gone home?
Terrible.
terrible.
I hate him.
Hopefully he's gone home.
Yeah, yeah. Vandy knocked out earlier today, so no more Whistler. I think the what I recall, aren't there two Whistlers?
Yes.
And they kind of alternated or whatever. But wish they both go away. The tournament in Hoover. Do you like it? Is it gonna? Obviously, they've extended it another few years. Maybe it was three or five. I can't remember what the last go round was. Do you think it stays there the next go round, Drew?
It really should. I mean, we keep improving it. Like you remember last year, they added that right field area. Kind of
Mhm.
wonder if they'll add some seating in left field. I think it'd be a
Mhm.
absolutely soulless thing to do to move it to like
Yeah,
Arlington's ballpark.
downtown.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or I think Arlington's ballpark is might be on the outskirts of town.
it
Like, well,
is.
I mean,
It's
like
out
Hoover
by the.
is.
It's out where the Cowboys play. It's the same
Yeah,
place they used to.
so
Well, and the
that'd
thing
be
is, all the other teams love it in Hoover too.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's
So
not like, oh, Alabama and Auburn have an
Mhm.
advantage. No,
mhm.
they
Mhm.
they love coming there. They love the
Uh,
whole setup.
yeah. I think that to me the thing that kind of puts it over the top, and you have to go to a game to get this. You
Mhm.
park out there. There's just acres and acres of park because this is a massive complex now. It used to just be a baseball field, but now there's this big gymnasium, and they have all these youth tournaments and AAU tournaments and whatever. There's lacrosse fields and soccer fields and baseball and then there's multiple of these baseball fields. In fact, there's an exact replica dimension wise of the Met there that the teams can go practice on and whatnot. And then Hoover High School is right down the road, and it's got two, relatively sized, fields. Um, but when you go there, you might park in the back 40, but as you walk up, it's just acres and acres of these RVs. If LSU wins this game tonight, and they're there, another day or two, it's those guys move in on Tuesday and they're there all
Mhm.
week long. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a
I
it's a
mean, they're there
Yeah.
whether LSU is there or not.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. And the attendance, is great. I mean, you might look and yeah, there's not a crowd on Tuesday afternoon when it's Missouri and Ole Miss, but tonight with Auburn there, it's packed. If this was LSU and Mississippi State, it'd be packed. When we're there tomorrow, it's going to be packed. And there's eventually the city you could expand seating there down the left field line if without a whole lot of problem if they ever really got right down to it and said, oh, we need to sell 4,000 more tickets. I don't think that's the thing. I think that the amenities here and just the feel of it, I think it's great. I mean, obviously I'm going to like driving 15 miles instead of trying to go to Dallas, but yeah, I like it. Hopefully it does last. Wrapping up a couple of last little things. Um, Top eight seed. We talked a little bit about that earlier. You feel like we're top eight? You feel pretty solid about top eight up right now?
If they started it right now, yes.
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 Okay. What if you lose that game tomorrow night? Do you feel we talked about it. We got a little fear on that. Or what would it take to knock us out of the top eight? Obviously, yeah,
Southern Miss
yeah.
winning the whole
Yeah.
conference,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
just us
That's
losing
about
tomorrow
it.
and a couple of others making
Uh,
like Florida making a deep run or
Florida
something
maybe
like
making a
that.
run, and they're comparable to you, a little more comparable
Yeah.
to you. Um, we talked a little bit about Arkansas going into this. I mean, creeping in, and I think one of y'all sent where D1 had everybody.
Yeah.
Where did they have Arkansas today? They have them as a did they have them as a seed or a host?
They have them as a 2 seed going to Nebraska.
Okay,
They have them at 19.
at 19.
So
Oh, okay.
just
Wow.
just
All
sitting
right.
out.
All right. So you think they can do enough this weekend if they made a run? I mean, they seem to me like the team that maybe has the most to gain from a good run here.
They need people to lose.
They need.
They're
Okay.
they need a lot of help, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Right.
I don't think they're going to get enough for a host.
Okay. D1 projections right now. Georgia 3. These are national. These are national seed and host. Georgia 3, Texas 5, Alabama 6, Auburn 7, A&M 8, Florida 10, State 14. I think that's 7 hosts. So I mean 7 is our ceiling. You think we ultimately get 7?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
You
yeah.
think
Seems
so?
like we get seven every year, just about,
Pretty
if
much
not
7.
more.
Okay, 7. All right. And
Ole Miss
uh
is sitting as a 2 seed going to Kansas right now.
Kansas. Okay.
Um,
Gotcha.
Arkansas is a 2 seed to Nebraska. Kentucky is a 3 seed to Florida State.
Okay. All
Tennessee
right.
is a 2 seed going to Southern Miss.
UT. All right. So those 4, if I'm a host, if I'm one of these hosts, who do I least who do I fear most coming to my regional that could of those 4, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee. Who do I not want to see in my regional?
Arkansas.
You think?
I
That's
think
what I
Ole
think.
Miss.
I'd go Ole Miss just because if you're a one
Picking,
seed
yeah.
and you're seeing Taylor Rabe in game two, I don't know if you're going to want to see it because I think Ole Miss can go beat a three seed with Hunter Elliott more than likely.
Uh-huh.
Now there is a little bit of a they may not, but I think if they're throwing Ray, Ole Miss is the kind of team that is built for the postseason with those three starters. So I mean, I think they're going to win a regional as a two and probably go. Heck, they could come back to
Maybe was
Tuscaloosa.
super. Maybe was super.
Yeah.
I mean, you throw
So
Rabe on your first game, and
yeah,
it's
you
like,
got
hey,
all those
you gonna
hitters.
beat?
They strike out a lot, but
Uh-huh.
you want to keep those guys off the bases. Um,
Mhm.
but they can also screw. They can play themselves out of a
Yeah,
regional
makes
just like
sense.
that. I mean, they made some mistakes and all that. They made plenty of base running mistakes. Which I don't think we have any bad base. We had one, didn't we?
We had one,
Were
I
we
think.
solid over the?
Yeah, we had a third base
Third
situation.
base
Which one
issue.
was
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
Peyton Still.
Mhm.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't think
Yeah,
of.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. I tend to agree. Arkansas, I think, is probably who you least want to see. But after watching Ole Miss's arms and just knowing what they're capable of, I mean, maybe that wasn't their best weekend with Townsend.
I'll be down.
But that, yeah. Um, Hot off the presses, I just saw the tweet. And I think Megan, you just sent it in the group. They're
Yep.
actually going to change up the schedule tomorrow because of weather supposedly
Oh,
coming in tomorrow night. The Georgia and State game will start at noon instead of 3, and then the Alabama game will follow. So the Alabama game will be more like a 3:30 or
Whoa,
4 o'clock
whoa,
game.
whoa, wait, is that right? Or they have to play? Okay,
Yep,
okay.
It
yep.
just
All
came
right.
out. Yep.
It just came.
oh,
I thought they were gonna move. Okay, I got you. This
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
last
So
game
yeah,
tomorrow.
it's So
huh.
State and Georgia play at noon, and the gates will open at 11, and then the
Oh,
Gators and Alabama will follow 30
That
minutes after.
sucks.
So yeah, so
I guess
call
it's
it
the weather, but
3:30, and that means
yeah.
they'll get the game.
Well, that means ticket prices are going to drop. Thankfully, I hadn't
Yeah,
bought
no
one
doubt.
yet, so
Yep, yep, no doubt.
um,
Yep. Any final thoughts on the tournament? I mean, again, we won't get too much into regionals. I think next week we'll be all about this regional. You excited about regional coming back to the joke?
100%. Yes.
yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
it's gonna be
absolutely.
great. Yeah, yeah. One other thing I want to touch on, real sad. Will Elliott, the guy you felt like you just knew Will. You always interacted with him on Twitter and Spaces, but a big Alabama baseball guy. Megan, you mentioned probably kind of like an OG rager out there, dating
He might
back to the opening.
He
he
was
might
not
have
the
coined the Rangers.
first.
He might have been
He
the
was not the
Rangers.
first, but he was the one who definitely made
Hmm.
everything to be what it was. And
Yeah, he.
the first shirts was Will's doing the Gillette's cups
Uh,
that were very limited edition, that was Will's doing.
mhm.
So not the first, but definitely the the first
uh,
ish.
maybe as important in the development of the student environment for Alabama baseball as Luke was for basketball. I mean, really, I mean, when you come right down to it, just um, always there, big fan. You're seeing a lot of tributes to him. He passed away over the weekend. Tragically, he's young. He's early 30s. Has a 3-year-old child. Um, he grew up in Hoover, or I'd say I grew up. I'm not sure where he grew up, but he I think graduated from Hoover. Family is back there. You'll see a lot of tributes to him. Big Alabama Gump, big Titans Gump. Um, Musician and he played in a band, that sort of thing. But anyway, I wanted to throw that out there because again, we lost Will, we lost Luke. Luke, who I've always said was a baseball fan first and foremost, and you know that, Roger. I mean, we always talk about that. I mean, the he would always tell us the the baseball games were a release for him. The basketball was work, right?
Yeah.
He had to be on. He had to do everything there. He had to, because he was trying to drag our basketball student fandom into the 20th century, 21st. But when he came to baseball, it was relaxing. I have Budweiser, he just loved it. And it sounds like I didn't really know Will, but I mean I know you did Megan. I think Roger, you probably
Mhm.
did.
I
Um,
did.
but really good guy by all accounts, and tragically passed away this weekend. So thoughts out to him, is his young child's family that are all still around here in Hoover. That's all I think we've got this weekend or this week for the Weekly Joe. Episode 16 of season 3. Hard to believe we've probably done. I don't know. I'd have to add them up. I bet we've done 50 of these now, or close to 50 of them. And really appreciate you all and your fandom. We'll have a lot more. Hopefully this thing goes, another couple of weekends and maybe beyond that. We'll see. It's been a special season, and we've enjoyed it and enjoyed bringing what we think about it to you every week. So for Roger Myers, for Drew Tramplin, for Meghan Dennis, as we get ready to head to the SEC tournament tomorrow, Peter Sly and Camp Lamb will take us away. Thank you again for joining us on the Weekly Joe. We'll catch you next week.
Swing it, boys, swing for the fence. Shove it, boys, make 'em miss. Some big league chew and a baseball souvenir. Come on, sing with me now. The Joe is home, sweet home. It's roll, tide, roll. The Joe is home, that's right. Home, sweet home. Hey, look, is that Roll Tide Willie over there? Well, it's Bama Blitz.